What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Celtic Clydesdale show. I'm Jim and I am the Celtic Clydesdale. Today's episode is going to be about the Garmin Forerunner 920XT triathlon watch. Now, I will point out this is an old watch. In fact, it was released in 2014, but if you keep watching, you may find that this watch could be worth your while. Now, I have to give you a disclaimer. Garmin did not give me this watch, but I didn't buy the watch. It was actually gifted to me by a good friend of mine. But the point is, Garmin didn't give me the watch. Garmin doesn't know I'm making this video, and Garmin isn't influencing my opinion on this watch. So let's get into it. Okay. Where can you get this watch? Well, I could tell you that you can get it on Amazon and you can get it on eBay. I will tell you, however, don't buy it at either of those two places. I checked Amazon and I saw only two listings for it on Amazon. One of them was for $250 and it was just the watch. All right. It was the black one. The watch does come in black and white. The black one is trimmed in blue. The white one is trimmed in red. Amazon had just the watch, the black and blue version, for $255. You can definitely get newer watch with more technology in it for that price. The other option on Amazon was $285, and the extra $30 was basically for a heart rate strap. Still not really a very good deal, to be honest with you, all right? And for eBay, I don't remember what the lowest price I saw was, but I definitely saw one for $350, and it's definitely not worth paying that much for this watch. You could probably get, a Forerunner 920XT for that price these days. So don't buy this watch off of Amazon or eBay. My recommendation is look around on Facebook Marketplace or in some Facebook triathlon groups, and you might be able to score yourself one. Truthfully, you should be paying probably $125, no more than $175 for this watch. And if you're paying $175, hope you're getting a heart rate strap along with it and the quick release unit. If you're just getting the watch by itself, you shouldn't pay more than $125. Let's go ahead and discuss connectivity of the watch. Connectivity. Well, this watch can connect to your phone and to peripherals. All right. And it basically has two means of connecting with these things. The first would be Bluetooth. Yay! The Bluetooth, however, is the only way to connect to a phone. All right. And for connecting to a phone, basically what you'll do with when you're Bluetooth connected to a phone is you're transferring data from the watch to the phone into the Garmin Connect app, which the Garmin Connect app will upload that to their their web-based servers and whatnot, and basically keep all your information in one place. And through the app, you could get all kinds of graphs and charts, and basically it collects all your data and keeps it all in one nice place. All right. Again, Bluetooth is the only way to connect to your phone. As for connecting to peripherals, things like, a speed sensor for your bicycle, a cadence sensor for your bicycle, foot pod for when you're running, heart rate strap for the chest. You can even use the new heart rate straps that are designed to go in your biceps or in your forearm that are optical based, right? Those will sync with the watch as well, all right? And that can happen over Bluetooth or over ANT+, all right? Yeah, other peripherals I didn't mention, would be like bike computers and power meters and whatnot, all right? So quite a few peripherals that you can connect to it, and as long as it's ANT+ or Bluetooth, you're good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and discuss the displays that you can get on this watch. All right, so displays for the watch, well, really, to learn about those, I'm just going to show you. So let's look at that. All right, so here we are at my wife's fancy craft table. See, really fancy. And what we have in front of us is the watch, and we're going to be looking at the display of the watch. All right, so what we got here is basically your selection of activities, and the built-in activities are run indoors, which I believe you need like a foot pod or maybe to sync to a treadmill to do this one. Bike uses GPS just like regular run does. Bike indoor, I'm pretty sure that you need like a cadence and speed sensor for this if you're using like your bicycle and a trainer, or if you're using a stationary bike. Pool swim, it's just that it'll track your laps, but you have to input information for the size of the pool. Of course it does open water swim. The trick here is your watch arm needs to come out of the water on a pretty regular basis. Otherwise it'll have a hard time syncing to the satellite and you'll get lousy tracking on it. That's just something you can't get by, honestly, but it still does a fairly decent job. But like I said, you got to make sure that your watch arm comes out of the water on a pretty regular basis. Walking is also a built-in one. It's pretty self-explanatory. It keeps track of your walking. Yoga, well, this one is not actually one that's built in. This one's a custom one. You can do other custom ones like hiking and whatnot. Duathlon, built in. And along with duathlon comes my favorite, triathlon. For both of these, it will track all three sports in one big event. All right, and what happens is for duathlon, which is typically a run, bike, run, you'll start out with the first event. In the case of duathlon, it'll be your first run, or in the triathlon, it'll be your swim. And then once you complete the first event, you hit the back button, which is also the lap button, and it'll go to your first transition from the first event. You hit the back button when you finish your first transition. It goes to the second event, so the bike in both cases actually. And then you hit the lap button again, starts your second transition, hit the lap button again, start your final leg. And then at the end of it, what you'll have is a split for all three disciplines in the event of a triathlon and for your transitions, and then you'll have an overall time for the entire race. All right, and then coming back. So first, to show you the displays, all right, or things that you can put on the display, we'll hit the menu button. Let's come up with activity settings. Now this lets you set up activities for, or this is the settings for each activity that you're on. So I was here on running. Now if I went back and I came down to the bike and I hit the menu, the activity settings that I affect here will only affect the bike. Now, a cool thing with this, if any settings that you set up for, say for swimming or for biking or for running, when you're doing duathlon or triathlon, it will use those settings for the appropriate leg. So if you're on the swim leg, it'll use your swim settings, all right? The downside there is it won't tell you, I think it ignores like alerts to your distance within each individual, activity. So like if you're on the swim leg and you have it set up to give you certain alerts during a swim, I don't believe it'll do that if you're in triathlon mode, all right? I know that if you're performing a workout, it doesn't give you your alerts, your generic alerts for an activity setting, all right? Now we back out and we show you the displays. Here you see we have your timer. Oh, this bar will come down. This is showing your GPS signal strength, showing you're connected to Bluetooth, and in this case showing me I'm trying to connect to a heart rate strap. You can turn that on so it won't connect to one at all, but when it's flashing, it says it's trying to connect. When it's a solid white heart, it means it's connected to your heart rate, okay? So to get that to go away, we gotta hit start. Now you can see in this case, I've got these 4 pieces of data set on my first screen. Now you can only get up to 4 data points per screen, and you can set up to 4 screens. I personally have 3 screens set up, and of course, you can scroll through those with these two buttons. I have a heart rate and a heart rate zone screen set up, and then this is a lap screen. Honestly, I'm not sure why I set it up like that because I never really use this data here. But you could set that up, and you can basically pick what each one of these is in the activity settings. So yeah, that's the display for this. Let's go ahead and talk about the GPS accuracy. Okay, GPS accuracy, kind of important for, you know, an activity watch or for a watch that you're using to track your performance data. This watch is definitely capable of using GPS. I mean, it is a Garmin. To be honest with you, I think it does it well, but let's have a look to see how well it actually does. All right, so here we are. We're looking at the GPS accuracy for the 920XT. And what we're looking at here is basically the map of the little half marathon that I ran on Sunday, the 8th of November. This is just one section to show you how the accuracy of it is. If you look, basically this side is on my way outbound. I kind of sort of pretty much did an out and back. And then of course this side is going to be my return trip. Now, I was running on county roads. I live in a pretty rural county, and running along this county roads, and as you can see, the GPS sits pretty close to the road in most areas, but I mean, it does sit off of the roadside, and in this case, it's, you know, over in a swamp area that I definitely was not running in. But you see how it tracks there, and there's certain areas, like if you look here, it comes up and it's a little off, and then at this point I pretty much ran right across the road in a straight line and then came back up the road. But as you can see, the GPS picked it up as a straight line from these 2 points, between these 2 points, and then has me cutting across through some swamp area instead of, you know, coming around this nice gentle curve and then running over. Now, it really shows the glaring mistake, I guess you could say, at this bridge right here. I assure you, I am not fast enough to run across water. All right, so that didn't happen right here. And you could see other examples of how it tracks on this here, in this part here, where coming this way, you know, you see it's off a little bit and it tracks some, and then kind of cuts the corner just a tad. And of course here, where I basically ran straight across, and then around this, I came up a little tiny bit across and then around this curve, but as you can see, it just runs straight. All right, which is a little off. And then on the return trip, after, you know, it says I ran across the creek, basically follows along here and then veers off again and then up. And this is the area that looks, you can see how I basically ran across the road to go the other direction, but it's all offset. And then at this point, it tracks where it should, and then it has me cut in a corner again and then back up. As you can see, I mean, the accuracy is not 100% perfect, but it's also the radio in this particular watch is, you know, relatively old. It's been used quite a bit, and I mean, for what it is, I think it does a great job. And to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, the track is off a little bit, but I can tell you that the mileage is counting. I mean, over the course of a run, you know, like if you're doing a 5K, you might lose, you know, 1/100th of a mile. To be honest with you, if you look at the watch, and, you know, I run, like if I'm doing a 5K, I'll run until it's actually saying 3.15 miles, and then I'll stop. All right, so if you do a little bit extra each time, you know, you might, like I said, you might lose or even gain 100th of a mile here and there. For the price of this particular watch that you would be able to get it at, and this kind of GPS accuracy, honestly, I think you'd be doing quite well to, you know, go ahead with it. And I think it's fairly accurate for what it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. All right, the things I like about this watch. Well, let's start off with its battery life. This thing has great battery life, let me tell you. Yeah, it definitely has a long battery life. Frankly, I think I put it on the charger about, I don't know, once a week, sometimes not even that often. To be honest with you, I know that it's been through a full iron distance triathlon, and it lasted the entire time. And I know that I've used it. There's been weeks that I've gone on 2 or 3 bike rides and 4 fairly long runs, and did some swimming with it. You know, it still lasted. The battery lasted a week. Now, one of the tricks it does, if you're not in an activity, it shuts off the GPS radio. So it's not tracking you via GPS when you're not actually in an activity. It'll still count your steps and whatnot, but it's not going to tell you where in the world you are. Other things I like about this, it has a color display. Now, my previous activity watch was the predecessor to this one, the Forerunner 920XT, and it was literally black and white. All right, that was it. With this one, it's color. Now, I will point out, you don't get color when you're in an activity, but with the color, when you upload a workout to the watch, say you're doing intervals or something, you can set it up so it'll tell you to have, you know, it'll set a pace for you. So you say, hey, I want to run between 9-minute 45-second mile and a 10-minute 15-second mile. And this thing will tell you if you go outside of that band, this will pop up and it'll have like a red ring around it and tell you your current pace and red ring, which means, hey, slow down. Vice versa, if you're going too slow compared to your chosen band, it'll give you a green ring to say, hey man, speed up. The color screen is great. The other thing is on the main screen, if you set it up the right way, with another one of my likes, which is custom watch faces, you could get different data that's constantly displayed on the face. When you have it for watch mode, the data is colorized on that display. Now, talking about these custom watch faces, it's really cool. All right, I run a pen making business on the side called Monkey Skull Craftworks. You can look that up on Facebook if you'd like. I've actually put my logo on here. You can check it out there. Yeah, custom watch faces is really neat. The other thing I really love about this is it's got a quick release mechanism, so you can pull this off the band, not have to use the band. Comes in handy when you're charging it, and it lets you throw it on the bike in a hurry. So yeah, let's move on to the dislikes. All right, the things I dislike about this watch. First off, there's no built-in heart rate monitoring, all right? If you're the type of person who really wants to track your heart rate as you go throughout your day, not the watch for you. Sometimes I feel like I want to do that, but I'm like, you know, honestly, I've never had it. So, I mean, I don't want to say I miss it. You know, I kind of wish I did have a watch this. This doesn't, not a deal breaker. I just thought I'd throw it out there, honestly. The other thing going into the heart rate is that if for whatever reason you go throughout your day and you decide to throw on a chest strap or one of the new strapped opticals for your forearm or biceps, you're not going to get that data if you're not actively in an activity. All right, so if you're just in standby mode and looking at the watch face, it's not going to give you your heart rate data. All right, that's another one of the ways it saves battery. It's kind of an upside and a downside, I guess. All right, another problem with it, especially if you've got the quick disconnect on it, is this thing is bulky. All right, you can see here. I'll do what my buddy Matt LeGrand does, and I'll measure it out for you, and I'll throw the measurement up there, and you can see just how bulky this thing is. I mean, it's a good size, all right, but It's got plenty of screen space. It's easy for my bad eyes to see. I'll tell you, the size like this in this manner, it's fine for me. It's just, it's a really tall watch, and it takes up a lot of, it's a thick one. You can get it thinner if you don't have the quick release. It's a big watch, still not a deal breaker for me. The other thing, of course, in this day and age, what's a big sell for most activity watches is that it tracks your sleep. This one does track your sleep, but I want to be perfectly honest with you. It's really lousy at it. I was given this watch. I received it in early to mid-April. And to be honest with you, this watch has never said that I've gotten a single minute of REM sleep. All right. I'm going to guess that it's wrong on that because I'm still here. Lousy sleep tracking, but it's got it. Is it useful? Really? Not a whole lot. I honestly, because it doesn't do a very good job, I don't really pay much attention to it. I mean, it could be an interest to you. It does track sleep, but I don't think it does it so well. You know what? Let's go ahead and move on to my final thoughts. Final thoughts on the Garmin Forerunner 920XT. I am going to say that it is a great watch. All right. If you're getting into the triathlon game and you are a data nerd and you want to track, like pacing and your heart rate and, all of the data that you can track, this watch will do it for you. And quite frankly, it'll do it on a budget. All right. Because like I said, you should be able to score this watch for about $125 to $175. If you're getting it for $175, you really should be getting a heart rate strap with it. So right there, you got data. I'm going to do in an upcoming video, I'll talk about getting like peripherals and whatnot on the cheap, but you can get, shop around, find peripherals on the cheap that you can connect to it to get yourself more data. You can get yourself a pretty decent set of data and information collection for a low price. You really don't have to go out and spend the $600 for a Forerunner 945XT. Hey, the 945, it's got a lot of bells and whistles. It's a really fancy watch, but you could do, I'm not going to say as much as the 940 you can with the 945 that you can do with the 920. But to be honest with you, most of the stuff you can't do with the 920 that you could with the 945 is really not going to make a huge difference. Honestly, the stuff I can't do with the 920, I'm willing to give up to save myself almost $500. So yeah, take it for that. Great watch. Definitely budget friendly, and it's, even though it's about, it's a 6-year-old watch and it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that today's watches does, it's an extremely capable watch and you can get quite the set of data off of it. All right, in the end, I would say go get you one, especially if you're on a budget. If you've just got to have all the bells and whistles, hey, save your money, go get the 945XT. But if you're not worried about the bells and whistles, this is your huckleberry. So let's go ahead and close this one out. All right, that was the Garmin Forerunner 920XT review. Whew, got carried away there. Yeah. Garmin Forerunner 920XT, great watch. Go get one. But while you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And do me a favor, if you've liked what I've talked about when discussing this watch, give me that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you can give me the thumbs down. But anyway, interaction. Please interact with me. Get in those comments. Let me know what you think about the video. Give me ideas for future videos, or you just chat it up with me. I love interacting with the viewers. That's the best part about running this channel. And it makes all the work that goes into putting these videos together that much more worth it. All right, so please interact down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Give me suggestions or just chat. All right, till next time, keep on keeping on.